let me start the recording. I should probably do it the other way around. I should start the recording, then greet. But c'est la vie, mon ami. It goes however planned. Today, doing something a little weird. Alright, happy rapture, if y'all have heard that. Today was predicted to be one of, or some pastor somewhere, some priest somewhere predicted today was going to be the Christian rapture. If you don't know what that is, read a book. No, it's basically all good guys go up to heaven, blah blah blah, and all the bad guys just stay here. So, kinda sus that we're all still here, but I do feel bad for all the people who got tricked, who got like scammed or whatever, and sold all their like earthly belongings, and now are boned over. But shit happens. C'est la vie. Today we're gonna do something a little weird, a little different. No game today, no art today. A little bit of an odd combo for me, but instead we are going to be doing a list of rocks. Now, I'm no stranger to the idea of a tier list, but this is the first one that I'll be doing. Probably one of the only ones I can't imagine that I have so many opinions on different things, but recently today, I was being a little dickhead as usual. We're good. We're past the first 30 seconds, I can cuss. I have been, as usual, messing with my friends for most of the day, and I had a fun topic to yell at them about, and that was their favorite rock. Rocks are kind of hard, because no one cares about them, ever, besides a certain type of people that, well, they just become geologists, and then no one ever talks to them. So, your favorite rock is definitely, like, you gotta kinda go through the dredges of your mind to find the favorite rock, and if y'all remember, I don't know when you guys did this back in high school, but earth science, sedimentary, igneous, and metamorphic rocks, fun categories that you can yell at your friends about, being like, your favorite rock is metamorphic? What are you, a fucking loser? All fun things to yell at people about, and so I was just doing that today. I was like, you know what? I have been feeling a little funky bunky, so why don't, instead of me playing a game and potentially like having to end midway through, why don't I just rank some rocks? I feel like it's pretty good. So, bit of a voice crack there. Don't bring attention to it, please. Let's go rank some rocks. First one is kind of a nothing ball. All right, andesite. I have on. So you guys can see the tier list. I've made it so, but you guys cannot see over on my right. I have a bunch of images pulled up of all the rocks that I don't really like know too much about, like andesite, chart, Violet over here. I don't think I pulled up pumice, but I should probably pull up pumice. Anything that I couldn't like really see, like rollite, I pulled up in a separate tab just so I can get a better gist of it. But andesite, kinda, it's an igneous rock, so that definitely gets up there. Igneous rocks are the coolest type of rock. Because they come from volcanoes, which is sick. So, andesite gets some points there. But all in all, doing a little bit of looking around, and it's kind of just a nothing burger. You know what I mean? It has a lot of silica in it, which doesn't mean anything to anyone. No one knows what silica is. And it doesn't really do anything. It's not really that pretty of a rock. It's not really that, like, good to marvel at. It's kind of junk in Minecraft. I think andesite goes in, like, a C, right? Wait. Can I add, I have no clue how to add new stuff, whatever. I have a few tier lists here. So, really, it just depends on how far we get through the day. I have just rocks. These are some crystals with names on them. And then we get to some minerals of all kinds without any names on them, so really stretching my ability. And then more rocks. I think that's... I have no fucking clue. I'm just going to do these based on which one I think looks coolest. And then this one, I was iffy to put this in the list, in the lineup, because it's about how tasty they are. And like... Or it's not really about it. Yeah, just crystals. So, this one's iffy. I don't know. Maybe we'll get to it. This is a lot of rocks to rank. Maybe we'll get to it. Maybe we won't. So andesite probably goes in C, right? It doesn't have anything cool. Ayo. It's probably in one of the crystal categories. I'm being 100% honest with you. But we're ranking rocks today, Fawn. I know, very enlightening subject, but frankly, andesite, who cares? Like, it's just so nothing. And it's not even worth coming up with a pun about it. It's such a nothing burger. It's such a... Why bother? And so, let's move on to the next one. I don't get... I've done my perusing, my fair share of it, of different tier list YouTube videos in my day and age. And I don't get how these mofos pick their shit. I did... Andesite was the first one. I put it here. I'm gonna go first in, like, the line starting here, right? It all, like, shuffles to here. Some people pick it towards the end. What are you, crazy? Because then if it's all the way at the end, you gotta, like, scroll all the way down, depending on if it's, like, a way bigger category. I don't get that. Or they just pick it, like, randomly? What are you, crazy? You need to build up some suspense. Be like, oh, I really want to see when he gets to Basalt. I want to see his opinion on Basalt. So I gotta, like, wait until he gets... At least you know the, like, order I'm going in. If I just go all willy-nilly, you just can't do that. Alright. Next one, phyllite. Phyllite. I have it pulled up on the second page. I'm reading some. It's a soft rock. Metamorphic. Brings it down a little bit. Rich, thin sheet, mica, face stone. Okay. We're looking at phyllite here. Yeah, it is thin sheets of mica, which I'm pretty sure is just like... I have no fucking clue. I'm pretty sure it's just like rock stuff. I am not qualified for this, but that's why we're doing it. Alright, I'm looking at some pictures of phyllite right now. It is no sedimentary, I'm sorry to inform you, but this is metamorphic, my friend. That's basically where I got this bit from, is I was just yelling at my friends about the 3 different types of rocks. I'm like, you don't remember 9th grade earth science way back in high school? You're an idiot. You're a damn fool. Looking at some pictures, not bad, phyllite. It's definitely like, it's something you can bite your teeth into a little, you know what I mean? It's not as flaky as, like, slate. I feel like slate just is the embodiment of flakiness. We'll get to that, though. I'm thinking maybe low B or high C. Alright, I'm going to put it in high C for right now. We'll see where this goes. And oceanographic. Really? I had, in 9th grade, I'm a little bit of a frickin' nerd, so I did honors earth science with a lovely lady who I will not be naming for... I would not like her to be harassed. Harangued. She was really nice. I learned a shitload about the Earth and the planet and the stars, which is weird. That would be in Earth science. Wouldn't it be just like Earth stuff? But whatever. I did Earth science in 9th grade, and then I did AP Bio in 10th. 11th was AP Chem, and 12th was AP Physics. So, a bit of a weird order depending on your schooling. I suppose they would be different, but that was my high school science experience. So that's phyllite. And these are going to be so annoying to pronounce, but I know this is schist. get that shit in order. That's in middle school due to being. I have. So I was actually, even though I'm in a lot of, or I was in a lot of accelerated courses, I had in New York, they're called an IEP, or like a declassified document, where I wasn't like you fools. I wasn't like my contemporaries with an IEP where I had some educational disability like ADHD or dyslexia or OCD. That wasn't me. I was purely physical. My mind was like a steel trap. Nothing could escape this. It was like a black hole. I was just consuming information. But I was born with one of my eye muscles being like super weak compared to the other one. I never had a lazy eye. But whenever you like read stuff, both your eyes kind of track together, like they're two laser beams looking at crap, right? And so one of my eyes didn't. One of my eyes didn't like go all lazy, but I would like it would be you can see my crosshair or you can see my cursor here. It would be like going. One of them would be going pretty good, and the other one would be like huh, 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 which was a little annoying. It was very weird because I did all the ADHD tests, I did all the dyslexia tests, and I freaking aced them. All right. I was top of the class when I could actually learn how to read, but I still wasn't able to read for so long. I had a ruler. Yeah, that's what I did it's the same sort of stuff. It's all like a lot of the same techniques to use. I had a post-it or no, I had a what's the word for like flashcards? I guess I just had like a flashcard that I would put onto the page. Like I would move it up, and I would be like, "Oh, this says highlight," and then I would move it down a little and be like, going to the next line. It was a little embarrassing. I was luckily enough. I would have been Yeah, no cards. I would have been a little too embarrassed to. I know some of like the younger years when I was getting out of elementary school, some of the younger years would be given like electronic devices to help them read and stuff. And I got out just like they were testing shit out with me, and I was like, I don't want to do any of this crap because it wasn't at the level where you could like plug in headphones to it, so it would just read it aloud. And I was like, I don't want to have other people hear me being an idiot. No, I was very well. I feel like most kids would be kind of worried about this, but um, that was real annoying. It was not fun. I was in. I had like extra help classes in elementary school to middle school, and then a little bit in high school. But then I knocked that shit out. I was like, quit it. I'm cool as hell. I could totally. And like the weird thing was, as previously mentioned, I was a bit of a smarty farty. So I would be in like honors classes, and I would still be doing like the accelerated stuff. I'm a real boy. Please don't do this to me. Um, no, Pinocchio, you can't read this. Blah blah. I don't know where I'm going with that joke. Um, but it was really weird because I was the only person in like my whole pre-algebra 8th grade class who would be like, actually, I need to go to the testing room because I would have tests read, which was really helpful. I'm not making fun of that. That would like save my life quite a bit, but it was a little uh shady. Like it was definitely I think a lot of my teachers, if they weren't told like this kid needs to have shit read to him, he's kind of unable to read. Um, they would have been like, this guy's cheating. This guy's totally cheating. Yeah, it was nice. It was very nice. Um, but the like, it was also kind of funky because all my contemporaries were like ADHD, OCD kids, and I would just be like, um, I just can't see. Like I had to be treated like sort of a blind kid instead of being treated as like, oh, this kid can't focus on whatever. Give him fucking meth. That's great. Like that's most ADHD medicine is just straight up like meth. Yeah, I never took any meth in middle school. Sorry, man. I just couldn't read well. I just had some lady go into the test and read me all the questions. All right, let's get back to the schist. Fuck, it was almost so cool. Let's get back to the schist. There we go. I did it. We're good. Schist, funny name. Let me. That is not how you spell that. Schist is a funny name, man. What can I say? Let me. I'm gonna be looking up all these doodads so I can get like a better. Okay, schist is very like marbly, where it has a lot of like different details into it. All right, I'm looking at it. It's a lot of different, coarse, layered. So it's another metamorphic rock. Now, I might be dumb because I thought sedimentary was when it has layers, and between metamorphic and sedimentary rocks. Metamorphic rocks form from other rocks that are changed by heat and pressure underground. Oh! And then sedimentary is just like layers of sediment being pushed down upon each other. That makes sense. Alright? Like, I know sandstone would be. This one's gonna be sandstone if you. Alright, I had to like look at this for quite a bit to get the word that was being cut off here. So schist, funny name. That gives it some points. Metamorphic, I might take away a little. I mean, metamorphic is a little bit of a cringe rock category. So, my opinions are being swayed here. But, if you get a good, nice piece of schist, it looks pretty cool, man. It looks pretty cool. I have the first B, alright? Uh, I think this one will have to be the first B. And I know you might be like, metamorphic as the first B, really? But it has to be done. It has to be done. Like, a B has to be put here somewhere, and something's probably going to be above it. Sandstone for the next one. Sandstone's neat. Sandstone's what a lot of, fuck, how do I put this in words? It's what a lot of monuments look like. No, so like out in the west, this sandstone is what a lot of stony, craggly, mountainish areas look like out in the desert. You know what I mean? Because it's sandstone. It's a lot of sand that's been pushed down and wet and then pushed down by pressure for millions upon millions of years. So it's out in the desert. This is what a lot of mountains are made of. It's what a lot of like valleys and gorges are made out of. It's neat. I East Coast boy. Um, yeah, I'm an East Coast boy, so I did not interact with a lot of sandstone. I know it's very sandy. I know that's a little bit of an obvious observation, but it's like very coarse. Like you can kind of feel it. You can probably even like rub it all or break it down a little if you rub hard enough. I don't really know. I'm not a real sandstone head. I don't have a lot of hands-on experience with the material, but it's pretty cool. It's a nice soft rock. It's very like brittle, so neat to throw. I could imagine if I lived in a desert like Ms. Fawn or someone else and scratch. Yeah, it's a very soft rock. But I can imagine if I was living in the desert somewhere, I would, when I'm bored, go out if it wasn't like bacon that day and just chuck sandstone at random like mountainsides. That'd be fun. That seems fun to me. Is just like hearing the crackly crack pop when you throw sandstone against the wall. That sounds like a good old time. So I'm probably gonna put sandstone not above schist. I don't think sandstone beats the funny name. I think sandstone, just because of my personal experience with it being lackluster, I'll have to put it below schist in B, alright? Chert. Let's go doing some delve research into chert. So it's a silicon rock. And it's, ooh. Damn, chert. Didn't realize you had it in you. It's kind of pretty. It's very, like, foggy sort of glass texture. Very pretty. I enjoy it. I recommend you all look up the rocks with me at home, because this is definitely not a fully lived-in experience without you looking up the rocks, and I don't want to be looking up things on stream directly just to be safe. Chert, though, pretty sick. Some arrowheads are being made out of it. It's what, like, fake jade is made out of, it appears. It's just kind of a clear, milky rock. I enjoy it. It seems like it has a nice caramel taste to it. You gotta kind of... I imagine that geologists are just fucking eating rocks, alright? Because some of them have to look really good. Chert being one of them. I think... Am I crazy? Am I crazy having this be the first A? Chert? I think it has to be. It's just pretty. You know what I mean? It just seems like it'd kind of melt in your mouth. And I like that. Granite. My boy Granite. What can I say about Granite that hasn't been said before? I don't like the orange in it. Alright? I'll say that. I'll say that right here and right now. Granite, too much orange. I think, unless you get white granite, where it has, like, the white and black in it, or, like, fully... There's definitely different gradients to it. Makes really good tabletops, yes. So, that is definitely a plus. It's hard. Orange is good. Maybe I'm just not artistically gifted in building in Minecraft. Or I haven't tried enough, maybe. But I don't like the orange, in real life at least. And this is purely a... in a real life tier list. These are my real life opinions on them. It does make good countertops. Those are pretty. Like, some of the ones where it's like a big, like, jagged scar of black granite in between, like, these very pretty... I'm looking at a countertop right now. They look good, alright? Just put that. I don't like the orange. But, a few fun facts about granite. Incredibly hard. It's an igneous rock. Sick! That's plus, like, 4 points right there. Igneous rock. It's a very hard rock. It's very tough. And dense. It's very, like, heavy for its size. Naturally porous, though, because it does take in liquids, which is, it's not the best. It's not the best. Silicas, fashion. So granite, it definitely has pluses. It's definitely going in A or S. It's going up there. Like, this is not your grandpapa's granite, alright? This ain't your grandpapa's Ralph Rolophyte over here, alright? This is nice, pristine granite. But I just have to complain, alright? I know. I complain about something crazy. But it has to be done. I don't, and this is like one of my big turning points, I don't like the orange. And it's one of its main colors. It just, like, ruins the piece. So, for that reason, I'll put it at top of A. I can't go to S for it. It's such a nice rock, but I just can't go to S for it. Now, let's get to the next metal. Or let's get to the next rock. And this one's a doozy, alright? This one's definitely a doozy. It's definitely a pristine rock. Marble. What a awesome rock to be ranking right now. I mean, how could you not love marble? It's what so many amazing works of art are made out of. It's so pure of a color. It's just pure white. Some, veins of gray going through it. It's just pretty. And then when you get to a marble of like rose marble or maybe like a green marble, ooh, baby, that's looking good. It looks like a snow cone. You always want to lick, when you see a marble countertop, or any sort of, like, you go to, like, the Home Depot or whatever, and they're, like, have marble kitchen sets or whatever, you just want to lick the kitchen set. You know people have run their hands on it, you're like, but it's there, and it looks so good. You just really want to just eat it. You know what I mean? It looks like a jawbreaker. It looks like some tasty, nice candy. And if it has the gold veins through it, let's not talk about this any further. Obviously, this is going in S tier. I mean, like, what else? Where else would it go? Are you kidding me? There's no other, like, decision to be made here. Quartz. Quartz, quartz, quartz. I'm like 95% sure this says quartz, but I could be wrong here, because it's so cut off. It says quartz, but it's like quartz-itty. Is there like an I? Or quartzite? Ooh! Okay. I found it. Now, if this was quartz, I'd thrown it out of the frickin' list, because this has been solely rocks up to this point, and quartz is a crystal. And we all know crystalline structures are less superior in a aesthetic sense than pure rock. Rock and stone, as the dwarves in fantasy, please don't cancel me, would say. Scrolling through some quartzite. Okay. Now, this could be me. Could be just me. That I'm having a bit of a top-heavy list. And I could just be complaining for no reason. I have a very top-heavy list right now. I'll admit it. And trust me, I'm not going to name any names, but some mofos over here are maybe going lower on the list. But quartzite, I'm looking through it. They make it they use it for countertops. I'm pretty sure it's probably like an igneous rock or metamorphic. Metamorphic, okay. Some negatives there. Metamorphic is kind of a poser rock type. Hard, pure quartz, sandstone. It's covered. Okay, so it's a mixture of quartz and sandstone. Okay. I think it has to be around here somewhere, right? It just can't go anywhere else, but maybe quartz is pretty if we get past its disgusting Fuck. That would have been so funny. I can't remember the name of it. God damn it. Construction. I'm so dumb sometimes. I just am so bad with remembering words. If we forget quartz's disgusting heathen construction of being a crystalline lattice, the thing is quartz and... Yeah. I mean, quartz is literally just silica, and silica is basically everything. Which is kind of sad. You know what I mean? Quartz is kind of an illy-gilly substance. If it wasn't used in, like, did you know that's how they make watches and stuff? They run an electric charge through a, like, quartz crystal, and for some fucking reason, that vibrates the quartz crystal, and that's how they keep time in watches. Isn't that crazy? It's not just, like, gears and shit. They have, like, a little crystal that they fucking shock. They have the power of the sun on your wrist. Alright, quartzite, should I put it above schist? It looks pretty, alright? I'm not gonna deny it. It comes in a crap load of colors. I'm waffling around here. Has some nice countertops. It has like some color in its countertop. Like a blue countertop could be neat. I don't know if it goes with every kitchen, but okay. I'll put it here. Alright, schist, funny name. Has to beat out quartzite. Mudstone. Okay, that's shit. We're reaching here. If we think mudstone's gonna be on anyone's list above. It's a sedimentary rock. Okay. And it's just fucking gross. Oh, but positive here. Apparently it contains a lot of fossils. Maybe. Let me look that up. Fossils. There we are. Often contains fossils of delicate things like fish or plant. Now that's pretty fucking cool, alright? I'll just put that out there real quick. Mudstone, pretty sick that it's like fossil haven. And I was gonna like dog on Mudstone. We have some maybe on our list that I might dog on later, but Mudstone, just because of the fossils being sick, I'm putting that. I don't want to go crazy. I'm not going A. That would be crazy. Below quartzite, above sandstone. Because mudstone, did a little bit of research, is literally sandstone, but it's just finer grit. Like, it's not made of sand, it's made of a finer grit material. So it's literally just sandstone. So that's why I'm putting mudstone here. Pumicite, do we even need to talk about this? Do we? Do we really even need to talk, like, anything about pumicite? It's just gross. Like, you can use it for exfoliating whatever. If you want to be a loser, if you want to be a weirdo. It's just like coral. But if you want coral, just get coral. So, it's an igneous rock, but I'm a man of my word. Pumicite, you grody AF. I don't want you ringing my number again, alright? Now we go on to diorite. Let's go to diorite. And it's, other than Minecraft, because I'm a big cobblestone purist in Minecraft. I don't want that gross diorite, andesite in my fucking inventory. Alright, I don't want you to touch my inventory, boy. But, in real life, kind of hand it to you a little. Now, odd thing is, this is a pretty stone. It has nice black and white coloring, nice Oreo coloring. Why am I not seeing this in countertops? I'm asking myself this mentally in my head. Why is this not popular as a countertop? Because I could totally see why this would be contains low alkaline metals. That might be my answer here. But why is this not? Why is diorite? It's diorite. Not used for countertops. Okay, I'm kind of looking through. Mofo, please do not be going in my chat like that again. Free viewers here. Like, shut up. Alright, looking it up. My diorite isn't used for countertops anymore. And so, you might be like, this seems kind of similar to granite. And you'd be right. It's actually almost identical to granite, besides this one difference. Granite has a lot of quartz in it, while diorite has a lot of alkaline metals. And you might be understanding here, some alkaline metals aren't good for whatever you're putting anything on your counter, you know what I mean? Eventually, if you have any metal substance in your stone, It's probably going to rust a little. It's probably going to be a little grody. So I kind of get why this isn't used that much as countertops anymore. It used to be, but not so much anymore. So, for that reason, it's pretty. Don't get me wrong. I gotta put it in C. Because it's just of no use to me. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't have any reason, any relevance to exist anymore. Next one, Gabbro. I have no damn clue what Gabbro would be. The hell is this? Okay. Okay. Gabbro. Another granite offshoot, sort of. Looks similar to granite or diorite. Some iron rich. Okay, that's kind of dope. So I've been doing a lot of countertop looking, and Gabbro is another like speckly sort of stone. So I can definitely see why you might be like, oh, this could also be used for countertops, right? Wrong. Apparently, as I said, like granite has a lot of quartz, diorite has a lot of alkaline metals. Gabbro has a lot of iron content. So it's fucking magnetic. Isn't that sick? And I think so I put diorite down because alkaline metals are just inconvenient to have. And Gabbro might have the same problem of like rusting a little. You know what I mean? Like have some oxidization of that, especially because it has a high iron count or it has a high iron in its structure, but it's magnetic. Let's be real here. I think this high B, low A. Am I wrong? Am I crazy for that one? Twirling my little pigtails here thinking about it. But bro, this gab's gotta be in upper B, alright? I don't think this could be... It's hard to really make the argument, because A has been something that really tickles my fancy. And this is just another granite. It's funny that I have granite, gabbro, and diorite all kind of in a row here. I'm presuming pumice is also kind of maybe in their related families. It's interesting that they're all made in different ways, but they're similar. Like in construction. I guess all rocks are kind of similar. But gabbro just doesn't really... It's so close. It's skimming its fingertips on the rim of making it to lower A tier. But I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Alright? Not with that sort of attitude. Just being like minorly magnetic. It's cool, but it's not enough. Next. The GOAT. Fucking basalt. You might be like, oh, we're not in Minecraft. There's no basalt. Wrong. Another igneous rock. One of the coolest igneous rocks. Because it is cool. No, it's directly made from melting lava. Or it's directly made from cooling lava. And it's, I know you've heard me rag on crystalline structures before. But this shit is the coolest a rock can be while being sort of crystalline. Because it forms in the strongest shape in the world, hexagons, when it cools. It just makes, like, you might be in, you'd be like, oh, Minecraft just kind of exaggerated that it makes, like, pillars or whatever. Nope. If you want to look up basalt pillars, there's just, like, beaches where I'm presuming there's a volcano at the top, and the beach cools, and then there's just a bunch of fucking hexagon pillars just at the beach. And it looks dope as hell. I think basalt is up there for me, definitely. Excuse me. This is definitely up there for me. Like, there's no way that such a interesting and pretty, naturally occurring mineral is not making its way up there on my list. So I'm thinking, am I crazy if I put this in A? Or an S? Am I crazy? It's definitely above granite. Alright? It's just between being an S or not. And I think S so far has been marble is so pretty, and humans have used it for so much that it has to be an S. To make art, especially, marble has just been so perfect for that thing. It's just almost a pure white color. And basalt, I'm almost putting in for the opposite reason. Not because humans have done something with it, but because Mother Nature has made beauty in some cooling of a random rock, alright? And that shit's pretty as hell. So, below marble, I'm gonna put basalt on my list, alright? Chalk. Chalk, chalk, chalk. That's chalk, not chalk, who is apparently a beetle in some game. Chalk, rock. Had to clarify, obviously. I'm sure you well all know what chalk is as a drawing aid. Ooh! A chalk cliff in Sussex? I think that's Sussex? I think that's how you say it. That shit's pretty. It's like very pasty, like almost flour in its white color, like a little off-white, maybe like an eggshell. And that as like a cliff top above the ocean, that's nice. I've been talking for 40 minutes on fucking rocks. But let's go through it. Chalk is what they make chalk out of. I know I'm saying the same word, but it's what drawing chalk is made of. Maybe factory made drawing chalk is like a bunch of different substances crushed together. But it's mainly from the chalk rock, which I think is really neat. It's a very brittle and porous rock, so it's not really that great if you want for any like construction purposes. But what the frick is this thing? Chalk pyramids? That looks dope. What is that? Okay, I didn't realize. Like before this tier list and me educating myself, I kind of thought chalk was just like ground up rocks and like sifted into being really white. I didn't realize that it was a standalone like substance. And now that I do, holy shit, imagine being the first person to be like, oh, look at this cool chunk of rock. Let me scrape it on something. What? It scrapes into something clearly distinguishable that I could use for art? Whoa! That must have been sick. I think chalk has to be an A. I'm not going to be crazy with it. I think chert and granite kind of mog chalk. But it's definitely above Gabbro and anything below it. I think that's like the only reasonable decision to make, right? Chocolate's just such a cool material that I have to put it in A. Maybe this is a little bit of a top-heavy list. Maybe it's not. I don't know your opinion on this, but I think it's what needs to be done. Next one, nice. I know it's not spelled like that, but this is another thing that I remember being shown to us in 9th grade earth science class. Nice. And this shit, pretty cool. It's basically, I don't know how Mother Nature did this crap, but it's the most, like, stratified rock you could ever see in your entire life. This is just one sample, but almost every piece of gneiss is like that separate stripes of black and white or red and black or whatever combination, red, black, and white, that you can get. And it's neat because every single layer you could be like, that was a different time period that a different type of mineral was being crushed into this gneiss. It's a very cool rock. Metamorphic, if you didn't get that, because it's not like sandstone where it's easily rubbed away. This is a full-blown, it's a rock. It's fully there. So, nice has definitely been something to think about on this list. I think it's a cool one to look at, definitely. I think nice and schist have the coolest names on the list, if I'm just going to be for real with you. But I think maybe I put it here, right? I don't know. Nice is a fun name. Schist is a really funny name. So I think I have to put it here. I think that's the only thing that makes sense, is for me to put nice right there. Alright? Just makes logical, full fact sense. Dacite. Dacite is our next mineral, and let's just say it's a little bit of a stinker. This one doesn't really do anything. Apparently it was made a lot into arrowheads, which does give it some points. That's pretty dope. But if you just look at like a piece of dacite, it's uggo as hell. It's probably one of the most rocks I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm putting it below diorite somewhere. Maybe below, I think it has to go below phyllite and andesite, but I'm not going to quite put it in D. Because D goes with the pumices of the world, alright? D is where you put the pumices and maybe something else. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But D's not where you put dacite, alright? Dacite is like just being a rock. You can't be rude to dacite like that. We have some heavy hitters before the last failure on our list. Alright? You know what? I'm not really making it that obscure which one I'm talking about, so let me just get that out of the way so we can get to the real kickers last. I know. I'm going directly against my opinion on how tier lists should be organized, but it needs to be done. Rollite, I mean, we all kind of knew where this one was going. It's just kind of ugly. Physical properties, it's a 6.5 to 7 on the Mohs hardness scale. Are you kidding me? That's gross. That's a soft ass rock, or it's just like a boringly hard one. It's not even like tough. So that's why I'm putting that shit low D. It loses. Now we have some heavy hitters. Now we have some real cream of the crop, as Randy Savage used to say. This is maybe the best 3 back-to-back we've had on the list. First, and I don't even want to say, like, because first means, like, oh, we're getting out of the way fast, but this might be the best one out of the 3. It's obsidian. Now, obsidian, it's pretty cool. You might be like, oh, it's kind of glassy, it's kind of nice. It's when lava cools extremely quickly, so it happens a lot right between, like, a volcano and the water. So, like, when lava goes into the ocean, it, like, instantly, or it nearly instantly cools down, and that's where obsidian comes from. That's where its glassy sheen comes from. But, if you didn't know, obsidian naturally is very, like, brittle. It's very much like glass. And when it breaks, it becomes one of the sharpest materials on the planet. Isn't that cool? Apparently, it's being used currently as a very expensive scalpel head for surgery. If you're, like, cutting through skin, you really don't want any, like, change. Obsidian is very commonly used as scalpel heads because it's just so sharp. And it's not too tough, but it's been used as tools for humankind for hundreds of thousands of years, however long you want to go back. So, it's just such a good mineral. I have to put it up here somewhere. I have to put it... I'll bite the bullet so you don't have to. It goes in S, alright? It goes in an S tier for super cool obsidian. Ooh. I have a very scratchy throat right now. Anyways, next rock. And this one, have I got some facts to tell you about this one. Limestone is, at first, oh, it's just a marble or a chalk, and it doesn't really seem like it has any purposes, right? Wrong. Marble is actually amazing because of how useless it is. It's so reactive to different acidities that it dissolves in like mildly acidic water. So, if you don't know, that's how caves are made. Isn't that fucking sick? Caves are made from flowing water being hit on a patch of limestone and wearing away and wearing away and wearing away at it for hundreds of thousands of millions of years. And the limestone breaks and crumbles faster than any other, and like melts faster than any other rock in its general vicinity. So if you walk into a cave, all the empty space where air is now was where limestone was. Pretty sick, right? So limestone definitely has to be up here somewhere. And limestone's also neat because the stalactites and stalagmites, you know how in caves they're kind of droopy and they're kind of like almost unrecognizable to like what you think a rock should be? That's also limestone because it's so reactive to acidities. It flows. It doesn't flow, but it ends up in like ripply patterns because it is affected by the water so much more severely than any other rock. I think that's pretty cool, if I do say so myself. So limestone, I'm happy to say, is above chalk. I don't know if it's above granite, but it's definitely above chert. Put it right here. Alright? I think limestone's a pretty neato rock to have in the day-to-day. And our final one for this tier list, we can go on to others, but this one is slate. What have I not said about any other rock that I could say about slate? It's a good rock. Slate's a great rock. It's definitely the flakiest rock you'll ever see in your entire life. Have you ever had a like piece of slate that you've ever seen? You could go up to it and just kind of like crack it in your hand, and it will come apart into like a bunch of different shards. None of them really that sharp. It's not like obsidian where it can become super duper uber sharp just by cracking it a little. Slate is kind of like the everyman's obsidian. It's kind of like the everyman's basalt. It's pretty, don't get me wrong. A slate countertop would be freaking gorgeous. Slate? Yeah, they use it as shingles a lot because it kind of just breaks off into good, like, sheet patterns. But it's a little too, like, they can use it for tiling, but because of it breaking up a lot, it's kind of hard to get into a flat surface. If you have that, I've actually been in homes where they have had like non-flat slate tiling, and that's pretty nice, if I do say so myself. It was very pretty. But it's hard to get into like a smooth sheen that you want a dinner countertop to be, or like, you know what I mean, like a dining room countertop, like a kitchen room countertop, not a dining room countertop. So that's definitely a downside of slate, but it is a really pretty, just pure black color. It's not as insanely expensive as having like a pure obsidian countertop or whatever. So, for the final thing of the list, I have to put this at bottom of A. Alright? There's a bit of a top heavy list, I will admit. A lot of rocks I like more than I dislike. But this is my list for top rock. And I hope you enjoyed that. Alright. So we did rock tier list. Let's go into crystals. If you're still willing. This has been an hour of me talking about fucking rocks. This has been a lot. But we can go into... Alright. Let's find a lurk. I'm happy that you're lurking. And I'm happy if anyone else wants to lurk. But I could go on. I could succeed where some haven't. Garnet shows up twice, so we'll just put it there twice. I don't know how to delete in tierlist.com. So let's go Garnet. I've never heard of a garnet. I'm going to be 1,000,000% honest with you. I know it's a type of gemstone, but I've never seen it used in jewelry. Apparently, it was a Steven Universe character. I never really watched that show. It looks a lot like ruby. I'm seeing it. It looks pretty, though. I like the red color. I think ruby definitely takes the cake for most red crystal, right? So I can't really put that there, and like I'll have to always one-up it with ruby, because ruby's just a holy shit. I was gonna say less expensive, but goddamn, maybe not. Gems are kind of expensive. What the fuck? That's $100,000. That's too much for a damn. Oh, it's a ruby. What? Whatever. Garnet. We're putting maybe in C. I think this is a good C tier rock. You know what I mean? It's definitely a... Let me put Garnet all the way at the end. The second Garnet all the way at the end. It's definitely a good rock. It gets just mogged by Ruby. Like, there's no category in prettiness that Garnet beats out Ruby. If you want, like, a more crimson rock, Ruby is just there for you. You know what I mean? Oh, I gotta scooch in. My lower back support is killing me right now. Ooh. So I think Garnet has to be, like, a middle-of-the-road rock. It's definitely the bum-ass losers Ruby. So, offense. If this is your birthstone, I mean 100% offense. What is my birthstone? Let me look. Ooh, a little bit of an April birthday diamond. All I'm saying is maybe that says something about me. Maybe that says something about you not being diamond. Ooh. Diamond? I do remember hearing about that. Like, my mother probably told me that one day. I was like, oh, neat. Amethyst. I think this was also another Steven Universe character. But again, I never really watched that show, so I could not tell you. Amethyst is the geode rock. It's very much the everyman. It's like, oh, I bought a geode off Etsy. It doesn't look pretty? Yeah, it looks pretty, dude. Colorful rocks look pretty. Big whoop. But like for a gemstone, I don't really know if amethyst ranks up. You know what I mean? It's definitely not bad looking, but it's kind of just meh. You know what I mean? Men. That didn't really work that well. Yeah, I think it's just like kind of a schmeep schmop kind of rock. I'm gonna have to put amethyst in... Say it ain't so. Do I have to put it in D? No. I'll put it in low C. It's definitely not an unpretty rock. Like, down here, I'm gonna put the unpretty rocks. Like fucking turquoise. But we won't get to that. Or we will get to that later. Like, jasper, you fucking gross. Ew. Ew. If I catch someone wearing a jasper rock, I'm gonna... Ooh... We'll throw that shit in the pond, alright? Let's just say that. I'm gonna have some strong words, whoever wore that. Let's go to Aquastone. Aquamarina. Aquamarina. It's like one of those pebbles that you see at the end of a, or in a, what's the word? Like in a gift shop, you know, when they would have those like bins of just like a bunch of random ass rocks that look kind of pretty. Aquamarina to me is always going to be just one of those gift shop pebbles, you know what I mean? So it has to go in D or F. But the thing is, Aquamarina is also kind of an ugly rock. You know what I mean? If you have a ring of Aquamarina, I'm gonna laugh at you a little. Alright? It's just not a pretty rock. It's not untouchable. I wouldn't be like, if you try to even come close to me with that rock, I would do atrocious things to you. I wouldn't say it's quite that. But it's definitely not good, right? It's good for you. It's not like, ooh, I love Aquamarina. I don't think anyone's ever said that. Diamond. It's my birthstone. It's a diamond. I know that they were actually overpriced by the De Beers market, and actually they're mined by poor 4-year-olds in Africa somewhere, and they're dying in the mines. It's my birthstone, man. It's the rock. It's the stone of any kind. I don't care. It was a good marketing campaign, alright? Diamond is forever? Not really. And synthetic diamonds are used for so much. It has to be up there. Diamond is literally one of the hardest substances on the planet. It has to be an S. There's just no other way. Emerald? You know, if you've ever watched me play Minecraft, you know I love me some emeralds. So I gotta put it in, like, A or B. It's not going up in S. That'd be crazy. But, like, a good emerald necklace, that shit's pretty pretty. Pretty. But Ruby and Sapphire, the trio, Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire, love those Pokemon games, probably the best in the series. They have to all kind of go together. Emerald, due to it having some real heaters when it comes to jewelry I've seen in my life. Having a amazing Pokemon game named after it. And just looking cool, being useful in Minecraft, goes in A. Pearl. Have you ever tried to shuck a fucking clam before? It's gross. It's atrociously gross. It's probably one of the grossest things I've ever seen done before. It's basically, you gotta rip open a clam, or you gotta open up a clam. Not too open, because then that will kill the clam. And then you gotta cut open the clam, but don't cut it too much, because then that will kill the clam. And then you gotta, like, use this weird ball, like, adjuster device that kind of looks like tweezers, but kind of looks like it's just like a basketball hoop on a pair of, like, dentistry equipment. It's weird. And eventually they, like, eke it out, and then they're like, oh, this pearl has a lump on it. Actually, that just lost fucking 80 grand that it could potentially be worth. Pearls are in D. Don't even at me. They're not even pretty. They just look like freaking mud. Or they look like milk. That's what I wanted to say, not mud. They look like milk. I don't like them. Ruby, A. Sapphire, B. Just had to be done. Groudon number 2. Rayquaza number 1. Groudon number 2, I have to say. If you think Sapphire beats either Ruby or Emerald, you're a frickin' insane person. You're a crazy person. I think you should be put into an asylum and never talked to by your family again. Alright? Are we, like, through to each other? That I think that should be done to you? I think things that shouldn't be done to anyone else should be done to you in a disrespectful manner. I don't like you if you think Sapphire is better than Ruby or Emerald. It's not a bad rock, but you're a bad person for thinking that is better than the other two. Opal. My boy. Opal isn't a pretty rock. It isn't like one of those pretty see-through rocks like any of these 4, 5. I can't count. Opal's kind of murky. It's kind of murky like pearl, but it mogs pearl. Because every opal is unique. Let me look up pictures of opal. Because it's not just like the milk sort of clammy too. Sometimes they can be like, ooh, baby pretty. They can look like galaxies. They can look like nebulas. So it's gotta be up here for opal. Low A, high B? I think it goes in high B. It's above sapphire. It's not quite up to A for me. Pink turmoil? Or turmoil? Tourmaline. Pink tourmaline. This is some fucking rock that you would get a 6-year-old girl. Be like, oh, you can use this at the end of your friggin'... Or this is like the synthetic rocks that you have in like pretty princess wands. This is what those like pieces of plastic are trying to emulate. And it didn't look good as a piece of plastic. It doesn't look good as a rock. Alright? It's just kinda ugly. It's not F tier. But it doesn't look good. Clarification. This, towards my left, is the highest that the column goes in, like, being close to the next column. Like, opal is the closest to A compared to sapphire. And closer to the right is worst in the column. Just want that clarification out there, just in case you need it. Citrine. Citrine. Let's take a look. Ooh, baby citrine. It's just pretty. It looks tasty. It looks like the amber in Jurassic Park. Just looks like something you want to eat. Citrine, high C. I'm thinking. High C. Don't think it makes it to B just because orange isn't always everyone's color. But I think it goes high C. Because I think that's just a really... Like, if you can pull off a citrine, you can pull off a citrine. Let me just say that. And it just looks yummy. Topaz. Let's look up some topaz. Because these pictures alone are not always the most, like, comprehensible. Like, I didn't know topaz also came in yellow. Obviously, it's getting mogged by citrine. Being mogged by garnet, I think. Right? It does come in 2 colors. It comes in a shitload of colors, actually. But it's just kind of the worst ugly duck. This topaz will always be in the bottom of C. I'm getting like a lot of gems here. And then a lot of like the milk toast kind of rocks down here in the crystal tier list. But these kind of deserve it. And these suck. Turquoise, untouchable. If you make me fucking look at turquoise any longer than I have to, we're going to be having words. Alright, we're going to be having some serious words. And I don't want to be friends with you if you make me look at turquoise. It's gross. And ugly. And you're a bad person. Black spinel. Spinel? No, it's with an A. They spelled it wrong here. It's with an E, apparently. That's just straight up a fake rock. Okay. This is so hard. Because, like, without it being polished, it just looks like a rock. But apparently, with it being polished, it looks like just, like, pretty obsidian. You can't make rings and stuff out of obsidian because it's too brittle. Sort of. So I guess this is kind of your next best bet. I think it beats garnet. I think it beats citrine. I think it's right there. I think Sapphire. I think I objectively like the black Spinel more than Sapphire, but Sapphire is just a classic. You can't go wrong with getting something that's Sapphire, unless it doesn't match. But it's just always black citrine really only works, or Spinel, black Spinel only really works in a few different styles. I'm not really that big into fashion, but I can only imagine it working with a few different like looks. You know what I mean? Like a real gothic look is the only thing that I can really put into mind that would look good. Okay, this is like fake diamond, basically. It's just more shiny diamond. And diamond, you might be like, oh, it's just more shiny diamond. That should be better than diamond. Wrong. Diamond isn't up here because of any prettiness. It's objectively not that rare. And it's objectively still fucking cool. Mosaic? Not so much. It beats these. I think just because there's a picture of it like shining when you put a light on it, like in a bunch of rainbows. That's pretty sick. That's how it beats Garnet. But it doesn't beat Citrine. Citrine is like the final boss of the C tier. Moonstone? What am I, a fucking Sylvia? What am I, a damn Pokemans? It would have been way funnier if I actually said a Pokemon that evolves with a Moonstone. Okay, so this is just bad Opal. D tier. It's just bad Opal. What Pokemon evolves with a Moonstone? Nidoran to Nidoqueen. Skitty. I feel like I knew that Skitty evolves from a Moonstone. Okay, I kind of knew that. Not so much. Cherry Quartz. Now, Quartz should have just been... Quartz is here alone. Let's rank Quartz and Cherry Quartz together. What the heck? Why aren't you taping? Cherry... Quartz. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's another one of those fucking shopping or... What's the word? It's another one of like the... As I made fun of Aquamarina and Pink, or actually... Yeah, I just made fun of Aquamarina for this, but it's another one of those like gift shop rocks that you get like in a bin that you can like pick up a handful of rocks and be like, Mom, Dad, I want rocks instead of, I don't know, something cool. We're visiting Niagara Falls. Why do you want some fucking rocks? Sorry, it just doesn't make any sense. Quartz, obviously way better than cherry quartz in any way feasibly even comprehensible. So it goes up in B somewhere. It has to. It just it's so utility wise. It's what's in watch, or what used to be in watches to keep time. It would. I told you this. It was like buzzed, and so it would vibrate at a frequency that was constant with the electricity going through it. So that's how you kept time in watches. Isn't that so damn smart? So it has to go in B, or it can't go in A. If this goes in A, I'll put this in top of B. Opal goes in A. That just can't happen. But it beats Citrine. It can't beat Black Spinel. Spinel. It just can't do that. Jasper. I had an opinion on Jasper at the beginning of this ranking. I have an opinion on it at the end. Guess what? Same opinion. If you put Jasper in my goddamn face, I'm gonna slap you. Don't even, like, think about it. It's just so ugly. Are you kidding me? You think you're funny or something? Putting Jasper in my face? You disgust me. You disgust me. Anyone you know disgusts me. It's gross. Carnolite or carnelian is another gift shop rock. It's a little above aquamarina. It's a little above cherry quartz. I think this is definitely one of the prettier gift shop rocks. But again, it's not a gemstone, it's a rock. Alright, that's the difference between F tier and D tier. Pearls aren't gemstones at all. They're biological material. But for the argument here, anything F tier is just a pebble. D tier, you're starting to become like a pretty pebble. And then C tier and above, you're like an actual gemstone. And if you even look at me wrong and you think one of the untouchables is actually a good rock, I'd appreciate you never have an opinion again. That one was a little far. Alright. Labrante? Okay, I'm looking at it. It's definitely, like, not opal, but I'm seeing it has some color to it. It has some flair to it, and I like that. Maybe we can put this, we can discuss this. It's not, as I ranked it before, it's not just a rock. It's not just a pretty rock, but it's definitely some sort of gemstone. It beats topaz. Does it beat amethyst? Does it beat the geode rock? Oh, I got a geode off Etsy rock. I don't know. But I do know, because this is my fucking tier list. Don't question me again. I think it beats amethyst, but it doesn't beat garnet. I think it's just right here that fits where it goes. We're getting to some rock-ass rocks. Lapis lazuli, we'll get to that one. We'll end off a little bit of bang. Garnet, duplicate, but... Limar? Okay. I was expecting another one of those rock-ass rocks, but this thing actually looks really pretty. If you look up some Limar, it just looks like... It's very tidal. It looks like a sea tide in a stone. I don't really know how else to explain it. I think Limar goes right here. Now, this is definitely a tacky rock. Like, if you could get this at a beach or at, like, a store that's in, like, a summertime vacation area and, like, oh, that's just one of the rocks they have in, like, a little necklace that is cheap enough where, like, a kid could buy it, potentially, if they, like, ask their parents for a little bit of money, and it's, like, not too expensive. I could see that. Limar is definitely one of those rocks. So does it beat... It does beat Laborian, but it's not by a lot. It's not by a lot at all. It's definitely like a kid's rock. It's a kid's gemstone. Howlite. Ooh. It's a rock. Let's be clear. It is not a gemstone. This is closer to like a granite than it is a diamond. You know what I mean? But it's better than moonstone. It's better than pink tourmaline. But is it better than pearls? I don't know. I've seen some pretty cool pearls. I think this is where that goes. I think that's fair. Hemite. Whoa. Don't click there. Hematite. Oh, hematite. What is he doing? Hematite. Oh, wait, no, there's so much of a better joke there. Yo, you like that guy? Hematite. There we go. It's there. Ooh, and it's metallic. I kind of like this thing. Most stable form of iron oxide nanoparticles. It's pretty fucking cool. That was unnecessary for me to swear. Unnecessary for me to cuss in that circumstance. This beats quartz. it looks like black spiral. I hate that name. I'm just gonna say black gemstone. It looks like black gemstone, but it's different in a lot of ways. This is like a metalish thing, and if you can get it in like an ore form, it looks a lot cooler than like the mined out pebbles that they have. Because if you have it as just like a pebble, it's just kind of a smooth metallic pebble. But there are some pictures of it in like ore form, and it's like a crystalline rock, like metal in a rock. That looks sick. That beats quartz because it's just cooler. Malachite. Malachite. Okay. Okay. Now, you're looking at this picture of Malachite, and you're like, oh, we know his opinions on some rock-ass rocks. But you're wrong, actually. This one is pretty neat. It definitely is a rock. It's not a gemstone. It's getting close to it. It's definitely up, sort of like Lamar, where it's like a kid's gemstone that they can get like jewelry in. And I don't mean that directly. Like, I'm sure you can get a malachite piece of jewelry that's expensive. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, like, when I think of a kid who has like, his or her mom bought them a neat like a neat ring or a neat necklace or whatever, I think of these type of rocks. They're not quite gemstones where, like, your mom bought you that for Christmas. You might be in a higher tax bracket than what I thought previously. But if your mom buys you a malachite necklace and you just really like green, that's cute. That's nice. I'm sure you got like some Xbox games as well. Like, this doesn't predicate you from being a functioning, like, normal ass kid. Because any kid who's a child of someone who's like spanking rich is not normal. I don't know if I've had like acquaintances that like their parents are making some dosh and they're not normal. Like, they just don't think in the same way that you do. Nothing wrong with that. You can definitely be friends with them still, but I think a malachite necklace is kind of like Lemire. I like it more than Lemire. Let's be clear. I like it more. I think it just has cooler patterns. It just has stripes and the like kind of ripply pattern, but I think it's better than Lemire because I feel like Lemire is kind of tacky a little bit. Malachite's also kind of like, definitely some fake jade has been made out of malachite. So, like, that kind of bumps it up because fake jade's cool. Lace agate. Lace agate. What? Oh, this is a rock ass rock. It's not like a malachite. Oh, it really has some personality. This one's just straight up a rock. You look up lace agate and, like, okay, you're seeing some pretty things. But this is just straight up less than amethyst, less than topaz, less than pearl. There is where I'd put lace agate. Alright, bud, you think you like lace agate? Maybe get some taste. A lapis lazuli. Fun name. Even funner, rock. Scrolling through some pictures of it. This rock is what I've said before. This would be better put in my last tier list. I did a tier list of real rocks. This would fall more willingly into there. It just seems like a neat colored stone or a neat colored granite-like stone instead of being a really pretty gemstone. You know what I mean? It definitely is not of, like, Minecraft got it right. This shit's useless. Like, it does not go up to the standard that you'd think lapis lazuli. Oh, that's a gemstone, right? No. Like, I'm seeing some pieces of art with it, or like jewelry with it. It can be pretty. If it's like the back of a watch, it can be pretty, but it usually isn't. It usually is kind of gross looking. So it beats amethyst. Does it? I don't even know. This beats amethyst. It beats labradorite, and I think it beats limorite, but I don't think it beats malachite. And I think that's my list. All right? I think that is my gemstone list. If you have any complaints about it, take it up with my lawyers. We'll be seeing each other in court. But if you don't have any complaints about it and you think I'm right about every opinion, you'd be correct. That's the next list. That's this list done. Now, that took an hour and a half to do 2 tier lists. I thought this was going to be a fast stream. I'm going to be 1,000,000% honest with you. I thought this was going to be like, oh, here's a fun idea to do a little stream about. I'm not even halfway done with the tier list I thought would be fun to do, dude. And one of them's 150 fucking rocks. Damn. It sucks that Garnet is going untouchable just because I don't like duplicates. And none of these have names on it either. These all had names, which were nice to look up. I don't know what any of these are. I just have to go straight by the picture. Alright, this is going to be like a little bit... This is bismuth, I know that. Because bismuth has like the geometrical patterns rippling that are pretty cool. I liked it. I like the bismuth. Gold's pretty neat. You're like, oh, gold ring, gold accessories, whatever. No, gold is cool because it's so freaking thin. Or you can make it so thin. Gold has a lot of holding power between itself, so you can hammer it out super thin to the extent where you can hammer it out probably, if you're careful enough, to the point where the thickness of gold in atoms is negligible. Like, they did the gold foil experiment, is an experiment where we didn't originally know how atoms looked, right? And this one scientist had a bunch of his understudies deal with radiation because that's what you do with understudies when you're doing science. He had them hammer out a piece of gold or like a little bit of gold foil to the extent where it was basically 1 atom thick. Was it actually 1 atom thick? Doesn't really matter for this experiment. It was really thin. It was so thin that the amount of atoms thick it was doesn't really matter because atoms are mostly empty space. And so, what they did was they shot a positively charged... they shot a negatively charged beam of radiation, like a continuous, a bunch of particles of radiation, negatively charged radiation, at this gold foil. And they were watching it, and they're like, okay, a lot of it's being... Because they had sensors at the back of the gold foil, or in like a ring sort of half-moon shape in the back of the gold foil. Or where the gold foil was here, they had a half-moon shape where they can see where the gamma is reaching. And a lot of it just went straight through the gold, straight through the gold, straight through the gold. But then, rarely, but it happened a few times, a piece or a single particle of gamma radiation would hit the gold foil and then go in like some random direction. They're like, why the hell is this happening? So they found out that atoms are mostly empty space because the gamma radiation would, or I don't know if it was gamma radiation, but some form of radiation that happened here would go straight through the foil most of the time. But sometimes these negatively charged atoms would bounce. Actually, no, I think they were positive charged. Fuck, I messed this up. Doesn't really matter for my explanation, but it's just that they would bounce off what they didn't know was the gold atoms. They're like, why do they keep sometimes bouncing in random directions? So they were shooting these positively charged particles, and they're like, what if... We know that now atoms are mostly empty space, but what if the center of the atom is positively charged, and that's why these other positively charged positively charged particles are bouncing off of what is the center of this atom. And so they're like, that makes sense because two charges that are the same repel each other. I'm not really explaining this that well. Anyways, gold was very helpful for scientific experiments through a lot of things. It's very good at conducting electricity, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty sick. I don't know if I'm going to do a lot of it. Like a lot of these, diamond, I had it up there in S previously because it's my birth rock or whatever. Diamonds are sick. Diamonds are so good for industry. They're so useful for a whole bunch of stuff. They're just cool. So diamonds go up in S. I'm just going to pick and choose because I'm kind of losing my voice by just talking about rocks for an hour and a half. Bismuth, A, it's really cool. It has a very, it's one of the most crystalline metals there are. So it's very like geometric in how it melts and then reforms. If you melt a bunch of bismuth and then just have it like reform by itself, it will form into crystalline geometric patterns. It's very neat. What is another rock that I think? Oh, this is amber. Amber's pretty dope. It doesn't really work like how Jurassic Park told you. Doesn't It's basically really old tree sap that was fossilized with something in it. Could not be with something in it, but it doesn't have to be like a gabillion years old, and it doesn't really preserve what's in it that well because there's like air that's trapped in it, blah blah blah. Even if you didn't have any new air touch a dead body, the dead body would still decompose with all the stuff in it. You know what I mean? It doesn't really keep it pure. So any bugs that would be in here would be pretty far gone in getting any DNA out of them, and any hemoglobin that a mosquito might have of like a dinosaur or whatever, I hate to burst your bubble, would probably not work. Though they have been looking at getting DNA from inside fossil bones, but that's a different story. Fossils are literally rocks that have been replaced, like the bones have been replaced with minerals over millions of years. So sometimes, rarely, the inside of those bones haven't been fully mineralized, and that's where you can get some DNA. But that doesn't really happen, and it hasn't been like proven. It happened like once where I think it was a T-Rex bone, like literally broke in half when they were storing it, and a bunch of like bone marrow fell out, and they're like, oh shit, that could have been really useful if it didn't like get ruined, basically, because like once it's on the ground, no 5-second rule for bone marrow. I'm sorry to say, there's no DNA in it anymore. There's no like, or it's all like contaminated. There's no getting it back if it just like flops on the ground. I don't know any of these. I think this was Halite from the previous thing, but a lot of this was good because we had names for it, and like these are all kind of mid. Like this is neat. I'm sure it's a real RGB ass rock, but that seems cool. But I don't know what it is. So let me go through it. Let me see if there's. I could just like go on what looks cool, but I'm losing my voice. So how about this as a conclusion? Thank you all so much. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your rapture. Rapture. I don't really know how to pronounce rapture. I thought that was very funny that it was predicted to be the last few days. Thanks so much for popping on the stream. If you liked it, leave a follow. If you don't really like it, what I did here today, or anything that I do otherwise, no worries, man. I hope you have a wonderful day. Other than that, I don't really have anything else. See ya. Bye. Alright. And my studio audience, I hope you all loved my opinions on rocks and such. If you didn't, you're wrong. But if you did, I'm happy to say that you're on the winning side of history. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.